listen, it's been, well, look, I talked to y'all like 2 weeks ago. Was the last video. 2 weeks. That is a long time. I have got to do better. So let's see. Today's Sunday. So y'all already know what I do on Sundays. And if you don't know, I fast on Sundays. So, listen, I found a church. I found a church. Well, I didn't find a church. I got invited to church. So I'm going to. I live beside the airport. So I'm going to be going to church on today. Starts at 1 o'clock. And I'm excited. Somebody invited me to church because I was like, God, I want to go to church. Like, I just want to go to church, and there's so many churches around here. And I told him that a week ago. And I mean, I Googled churches, but I was like, I'm literally not getting ready to just pop up in a church. Like, so I got invited to church, and I'm going to be going to church today for the first time. So I'm excited about that. But I was like, I have got to get on my Zoom. Because when is the last time I've been on here? It's been 2 weeks. So I came outside, and I was just outside listening to these loud ass bugs. And I was like, oh man, let me jump on here. And I just wanted to say, like, I just got so much to say, but let me figure out where to start. So, you already know I'm going to talk about healing and my journey or whatever, but what I have really like been brought to the what has really been brought to the surface for me, and kind of what stays in my forefront, is that, like, this healing thing is not linear. And you hear people say that all the time, like, healing is not linear. It's not linear. And it's not. You will do this, right? And then you'll be here, and then you might go, and then you might up, and then you might, like, you might not crash, but it'll definitely be a drop. And learning that, and being able to give yourself grace for that and forgiveness for that, is where I found myself at this past week. And it's probably why I ain't even thought to come on here, because usually I like to give good energy out, and when my energy ain't right, I don't deal with people. And I always tell my best friend, I'll be like, my misery don't love company. Like, you hear people say, misery love company. Mine don't. I want to be by myself till I can, me and God can get me back on the even keel. Like, I'm D&D. D&D. Do not disturb. So, I found myself, like, I don't want to do this as in down, but I definitely did dip below my standard last week. And I had to really give myself a lot of grace and just keep on talking to myself with my higher self and God in my prayers to kind of keep me from, like, staying there. Because it's a heavy energy, that down. And that's why if you get around people who are bad and down, like, they will bring, like, one bad apple, that's all it takes is one, and it's going, you know what I'm saying? So that, because that energy's heavy. And constantly being by myself here in Nashville has been something that I have been struggling with, because I don't know anybody, right? I haven't really, like, I done been a couple places, but I ain't really, like, put myself out there yet. And I remember before I even came here, when I was in Hawaii, I was like, oh, I'm outside when I get to Nashville. Like, I've been put up for a year. I done healed. I'm good. I'm ready to go outside. And I get here, and I'm like, oh, this is a big place. This is such a big place. I'm by myself. um, which I'm always by myself. Like, I've been by myself for years, besides going in and out of a situation. Like, but that don't last longer than 2 weeks tops. So I be by myself all the time. But when you in a place where you're familiar with everybody and you know the streets, I grew up in Kentucky. So to come an hour away and be in a whole major city, and just like, it's like if something happens to me, the people that I have to call, the two people that I got to call, are hours away from me. My best friend is in North Carolina. My daughter's in Hawaii. Like, I be like, I don't even want to get far from home, because if something happens to me, but I don't want to be wrapped up in fear either. But I think last week, it just had me in a place where I was just like, God, can you send me somebody? It don't gotta be my husband. Like, if you want to send my husband, that's cool too. But I know you, and I know he probably ain't on the way yet. But can you can you send me a friend? Like, I need a phone number. Not for somebody that I could just call to be talking all day. I don't want that. But somebody to be like, hey, um, trying to be realistic here. Because I don't want nobody to call me and think we just gonna do a whole bunch of hanging out, because I ain't that person either. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and people been asking me for my number, but they be the men that be like, you got a man? Can I get your number? Oh, you so fine, I can't believe you ain't got no man. Like, dog, everybody don't have a man. Like, there you don't have to have a man to, like, where did we get that? Who put that in our mind? Like, a woman ain't complete if she don't have a man. It's something wrong with her if she don't got a man. You ain't got no man, I can't believe you ain't got no man. Like, no. Is that a disease? You know how easy it is to get a man? It's easy to get a man. Men ain't hard to get. Men are not hard to get. They barely even have standards. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. But anyway, so I don't want them type of phone numbers either. And 8 times out of 10, I'm cool by myself. But when it just really sank in last week, like, you're by yourself, I was just like, oh, I am really by myself. So yeah, last week, y'all didn't hear from me. I didn't even want to get on here. So I was supposed to go running this morning, but that didn't happen. I just laid there too long, and then the next thing you know, the sun was out, and I'm not running when the sun's out. I got to run while he's still laying down over there. So we'll try that in the morning. But other than that, I have been writing scriptures down, and all the things that God said about me. Like, I'm writing them down, because I'm like, God, you said this. God, you said I'm the head, not the tail. God, you said that you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm writing these things down in my journal. Like, God said this, God said that, God said this, because his word ain't going to return void. And when I pray, I make sure to put what he said in my prayer, because his word won't return void. So if I don't read those things, though, I won't know that. That's why I think it's just important to read the Bible, because it's like, yeah, you can go listen to your pastor on Sunday, and he gonna tell you to open up your Bible to that one verse, and then he gonna go off and do a whole production about something totally different, and you gonna forget what that verse was. But I also, God wants you to study to show yourself approved. So it's like, I don't want to get so caught up in the doing of trying to follow Christ, right? That I turn into some type of robot. Because God, you don't have to do to he's not a transactional God. He do want you to be obedient. But you can't do your way into or work your way into his love. His love, he's not going to unlove you. But what I want to do is show him that I'm trying to put more of him into my life. Like I told y'all that the last, two or three videos already. Because I used to have so much of the world stuff in my life. From kids and jobs and boyfriends and whatever else I could find to stuff in them. Whether we awake about 15 hours of the day, I had it. And then on Sunday, hallelujah, Jesus, thank you, and I'm going home and I'm back on my grind. So it's like now, I feel like he cleared all of that out. Like, you got a lot of time. Like, what are you going to do with it, So, this video ain't going to be long. I just needed to pop in. And let me tell y'all what happened to me last week. It was about 3 days ago. So I'm at the gas station, right? And I had seen somebody behind me pumping their gas on the side of me. Some guy on the side of me pumping his gas, but I don't pay no mind. So when I go to get in my car, I turn my back to him. And the sun is setting. So I'm just looking around at the sky, and I'm pumping my gas with he's behind me, and I hear something saying something behind me, but I'm not the type of person that if you be like, hey girl, or hey girl, I'm not doing that, because who are you talking to? And if you don't know my name, then so I hear him saying something, but I'm not doing that. So when I take my pump out and go to put it back, and I turn towards him, he's like, excuse me, I've been trying to get your attention, and now we just face to face. And I was like, oh, my bad, I didn't hear you. He was like, I wanted to pump your gas for you. And I was like, oh, that is so nice, thank you, but I'm done now. And he was like, well, can I put the cap back on? And I, yeah, you can put the cap back on. So he put the cap back in, and he was like, what's your name? And I told him Sandra. And I asked him his name, but I don't remember names like that, so I don't remember it. He was like, it's probably like 8 o'clock at night, because the sun was setting, so it had to have been like almost 8. And he was like, you want to hang out tonight? And I was like, no, I ain't doing no hanging out. I was like, you going to hang out? And he was like, well, if you want to hang out, we can. And I was like, oh, no, no. He's like, well, what's your phone number? Can I get your phone number? You got a boyfriend? You got a husband? And I'm like, no. Can I get your number? And I was like, give me your number. And he was like, nah, you ain't gonna call. I was like, all right. So I pulled my phone out, and I let him put his number in my phone. So I'm holding my phone, and he's just tapping his number in there. And this dude done pressed talk. So now my phone rings. Now my phone calling him. He done got my number. So I started laughing, because I'm very intelligent, but I'm sometimes I be slow a little bit. I ain't got no lie to tell. Sometimes I be a little slow. So I didn't think about him doing that. I would just put your number in my phone and I'm gonna go about my business. I'm never gonna see you again. Now he got my number. So I laughed or whatever. He was like, all right, you call me if you want to hang out. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, um, I get in the car and I was like, God, I can't believe God, I'm old. I'm getting old. Or I'm just not in the game. I ain't thinking. I don't know. But I drive off and I go to his number in my phone and hit block. And you know, my old my old iPhone, I went from like an iPhone, what did I have, an 8 to like the 14 or whatever, because my 8 got ran over. I had my 8 up until last year, but I had the 8 when it came out up until last year. So for a couple years I've had that 8. Y'all, when I say the block list was long, the block list was long, because if I give my number out, because back then if you asked me for my number, I didn't say no. I didn't know. I didn't say no at all. I used to be a people pleaser. So if anybody asked me something and it was within my parameters, I'm doing it. So if you ask me for my number, no, good and damn well I don't want to talk to you. But okay, here's my number. As soon as they text me, hi, good morning, block. My best friend used to hate me for that. She'd be like, why don't you learn how to tell these people no? And I'll be like, I'm going to tell them no next time. And then I get caught up somewhere. You got a man? Can't get your number. Blacklist was long. Blacklist was long. I put that on like, blacklist was long. Because I had that phone for years. I don't know how I'm supposed to meet somebody new, because and I guess I'll just know, right? I'll just know, because when I give somebody my phone number, I block them. I don't want you just like, let's have a conversation. In my mind, I'm thinking we should have a conversation, like we bump into each other at Trader Joe's. We have a conversation in the store. And maybe I don't want to say I watch too much TV, because I don't. But I'm thinking we probably bump into each other again at the bookstore and be like, oh, I met you at Trader Joe's. Like, and then I give you my number, because I don't see you twice. I feel like God is like, okay, I'm putting him in your life twice. Because there are no coincidences. So I done seen you twice in this big ass city. Yeah, you can get my number the second time. But the first time, at Kroger, at the gas station, at the club, when I used to go to the club, that's my 8. My 8, I was in the club, like on the weekend. When I would leave, and me and my last situation, when I would leave and go stay with my friend, and we would go out, go to a bar somewhere, it wouldn't matter. Somebody's gonna ask for my number. It was always just as soon as I walk. That's why I'm like, guys don't. It ain't hard. It's not hard. Like, they just, can I, you got a man? Even if you got a man, they don't care. It's girls that don't care that guys got a husband, a wife. So, yeah, I don't like that part. I don't know how I'm going to meet somebody, but it ain't going to be him just asking me for my number at the car wash. It's not going to be that way. It's not going to be that way. So yeah, that was cool though. I really liked that he was behind me though. Like if you was like a big stepper, you would have came, got out from over, from behind me when you, especially when you saw that I wasn't paying you no mind, cause I'm right here. I'm not boy crazy. I've been getting attention from guys my like for a very long time. Not high school though. Like I was a late bloomer, so not high school. I had a boyfriend in high school, and that was the only thing I could see. So wasn't nobody. But after high school, when I really started to come into myself, I ain't never not been nowhere. I don't care where I was at. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Italy, Japan. Like it don't matter where I was at. Somebody is gonna try to talk to me. And I'm not saying that to be like, I'm not, that's not my ego. I'm just telling you what a fact is. So I'm 42 years old. It's been happening since I was 20 years old. I'm not fucked up about that no more. I'm flattered for you to even say that, but I feel like y'all say that to everybody, so it don't really do a lot for me. But to have him offer to pump my gas was so cool because I like chivalry. I love that shit. I wish he would have walked from around me and said, ma'am, can I pump your gas? Oh, here. Because I hate doing this shit anyway. And he put the cap back on, though. And maybe he didn't want to come around and startle me. I don't know. But the thing is, he didn't have to be sitting over there asking and waiting on me to acknowledge him to pump my gas anyway. So I'm not fucked up about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate that. I really do. But I did block him. And this happened about 4 days ago. So I know he done tried to call me or text. I know he done tried to text me. But if we see each other again, I'm going to tell him I blocked him. But you ain't get ready to sit here and convince me that even after I tell him I blocked him, if we see each other again, he's not going to still want to take me out. I just don't believe that. He wanted to pump my gas. Anyways, he probably got a whole wife and kids at home. You don't listen. These guys, the way they move, I don't want to make a blanket statement here, but Lord. So, anyways, I wanted to keep this at around 20 minutes. Next week ain't gonna be like this week. It's really not. I had my dip in whatever hormones was going on. I had just came off my cycle. And I was just feeling like there's 7 billion people in the world. Why am I by myself? But I also felt like I always appreciate my moments of solitude because I remember when I used to pray for them. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I am going to get ready for church. I am expecting God to talk to me through his word, whatever's going to be preached today. I'm excited to go worship. I hope that this is a fit for me. It's a million churches in Nashville, so I ain't got to just get stuck with one. But yeah, I hope y'all Sunday is amazing. And I look forward to getting back in a good routine with y'all like I was before. Just bear with me. Please. I love you. Take care. Bye.